All right, everybody. Welcome, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear audience here in the studio, to the MindSphere Future World Series, to the grand finale in Dubai at the Expo 2020 fairground. How are you guys doing? Yeah, okay. I can tell there is a lot of enthusiasm in the room, and as we've seen before in the video, IoT is the topic, hackers, coders, enthusiasts, and of course, my lovely wingman, Sebastian Wolf, is also bringing us into the topics of this Future World Series with MindSphere. My name's Christine Brunner. I'm really happy to be your host for the next 2.5-hour session. Don't worry, it might sound long, but it's really worthwhile watching, taking part, participating, and voting. And Sebastian will let us know more about what's going to happen now.
Exactly. So what a wonderful day, right? A lot of years of hard work are coming to an end. 6 months of an exciting time here at the Expo 2020 in Dubai. So as Chrissy just rightly mentioned, we have quite a nice agenda prepared for today, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as we will hopefully do. So we will kick it off right now. As said, 2.5 hours, we will see the teams pitching again. All the winning teams that have participated in 6 months of our hackathon series will be with us, showing their solutions, their great ideas. Then this is followed by a speed panel where we, together with our teams, will have some sort of a new format and talk about controversial statements in the 5 topic areas that we will hear more about just in a second. And then after this, there is the Community Choice Award of all the great ideas that have been submitted over the last 6 months, and the teams will present them right now, and then we will have, hopefully you guys here on the screen as well, and telling us which one is the best and you like the most. But before we kick this off, Chrissy.
The good thing is, it's not just the audience here who is going to vote, it's you guys joining virtually as well who have a chance to participate in saying what your favorite team is. But we'll unveil the secrets about that a bit later.
Exactly. And before we go there, we would like to welcome Dave Mitchell here on stage, because we will be talking with him and hearing from him how MindSphere, the IoT as a service solution, contributed to this huge success here at the Expo in Dubai. So please welcome Dave on stage.
Thank you. So thanks for coming. Now, as the slide says, my name is David Mitchell. And of course, on the bottom, you'll see that it says Siemens, which of course where I get my paycheck, so because I work for Siemens. But my job within Siemens is in the middle part there, which is MindSphere product. So it's our job of our team to bring MindSphere to the marketplace. Now, one of the challenges when you're in a big company, but you are in a startup within a big company, is how do you behave? How do you lead the team to behave like a startup when you're part of a very large enterprise? So one of the things that we try to do is, we always talk about the lean startup in my staff meetings because it's a great reference for all of us. Now, at dinner last night with a lot of the startup teams, we were talking about where they're at in their startup journey, and we all agreed that whether you're a startup within Siemens or a startup in actual fact, this is a great Bible to kind of judge your decisions by. So one of the things we think about is you make small strategic investments that have a big ROI, so if you know you're doing the right thing. You want to get into this build, measure, learn, feedback cycle to make sure that you're building the right thing. Because engineering efficiency is not lines per code, it's how fast are you building something that somebody wants to pay for. And so that's really the cycle that you've got to get into. And so the important point here is you cannot learn without speaking directly to customers and to partners. And that's why our team is here to engage with you to make sure that what we're doing is appropriate. So in IoT, it's kind of an interesting point in its life cycle. If you look at kind of the industrial area, CAD, ERP, and PDM in different domains of eras, they had to compete against homegrown, against DIY projects. And IoT, sadly, is still kind of in that phase where people are still trying to decide, should I use you or should I build it myself? And that's where we are today. Now, one of the reasons why we think MindSphere is the right solution is because we think it's easier than doing it yourself. We navigate all the challenges of the hyperscalers. We work on top of Amazon, Azure, Alibaba, so you don't have to worry about their vagaries. We work to evolve our system so that as they release cool new things, you get the benefit that MindSphere without having to adjust the platform yourself. So there's a lot of things that we do for you. You get our application ecosystem that comes from us, but also there's a big global partner ecosystem, such as yourselves, that are also building applications that can be extended and being added to MindSphere. So we think that's an important part, that we run it, we evolve it, we secure it, and we integrate it with the rest of the products that come from Siemens as well. So one quick thing about MindSphere, here's kind of the 6 focuses of how we think about what we do for a living. So we're Industrial IoT as a service. You can just turn it on and you can use it. Using Mindex and our microservices, you can get IoT solutions faster because you can program at what's your specific use case if we haven't gotten to your use case yet. Again, we've talked about this global partner ecosystem. We talk about integrating edge to cloud. We love it when there's Siemens devices on the factory floor or the device that's connected, but it doesn't need to be. We can connect to pretty much anything out there as a data source into MindSphere. So we also put your data in context. So you have all that IoT data, and that's good. IoT data by itself can be great, but typically you also want to see it in the context of something else, whether it's your factory, or as we talked about this week in some of the hacks, if it's in the context of your purchases. There's a whole ecosystem that we want to put that data together. And of course, we in the SW division, we have a lot of products that are CAD, data management, and that sort of thing, and we can pull those things together because we have that expertise. So we're here today. We're at the We're here in Dubai at the Future World Series, and so we're here to take a look at these different hackathons that have been taking place. So there's a lot of activity that's here. We're going to hear from each one of the groups about what they did, what was the winners, and how did they win their hackathon session. And that's an important point. And again, the reason we're here is to connect with you. I was talking to one of the CEOs last night, and he made the point that if I want to get compliments, I'll talk to my mom. But if I want to get some feedback on how to improve my product, I want to talk to my customers and my partners. And so that's why we're here, to make sure, how can we make sure that MindSphere is right for you and that we're doing the right things to enable your business that you're building on top of MindSphere. So here's just an example of what Afzal's team has created here. This is a Dubai Expo City app, where using this application, the team can go in and look at the temperature of every building, what's the energy consumption, what's the water consumption of this. This is an example of an app that was built by his team here to control the Expo. And that's a neat application. But what happens is, whether we're supporting Afzal's team or whether we're supporting you, we need to know what's going on so that we can make sure that we're in this build, measure, learn cycle. Because even though we're trying to act like a lean startup inside of a large enterprise, we also know we can't learn if we're not talking to you. We can't go into a conference room and talk to each other and say, what should we do next? That's interesting, but that's not necessarily going to be the right thing. But if we talk to you, we talk to customers, that's how we learn to make sure that we're building what you need to improve your business. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, dear Dave. One compliment from my side. You're definitely one of the speakers, I'd say, who can cover the maximum content within 60 seconds. And you're the one to listen to a podcast to in one-time speed. So thank you very much for all the insights. All right, now let's start with our pitch presentations round. 6 months, 7 challenges, 5 topics, covering buildings, energy, mobility, including transportation, industry, including factory, and of course, very important, water.
Okay, and with this, we're kicking things off, and we would like to welcome our teams from around the globe, actually, right? Because this is an international space. Dubai is known to be very diverse. It's lovely to be here and have the teams here with us. So we have Fusebox from Estonia. We have Econo from Sweden. We do have Exomotion from Switzerland. We AR from Italy. Hydrogens from Thailand. But also Logic from the United States. And the Carbon Game from Portugal. So with this.
Exactly. And you might wonder now, maybe, how come that we are running here without masks, open speaking? Don't worry about it. We've been together for quite a few days, and we've been frequently, not even daily, tested. We are all vaccinated, we are boosted, we are energetic, and we're having a good spirit and mood, so we're safe. So we are taking care of all the safety measurements in regards of COVID, of course.
Exactly. And so we hope you are in a good mood to also contribute and participate. And as mentioned at the very beginning by Christina, we want your voice, right? We want to hear from you out there. So please feel free to submit your preferred solution, the team that you like most, everything that comes up now in the next next few minutes and half an hour to an hour actually, you have the possibility to vote. You can scan the QR code with your mobile phone, and then it will directly bring it to a website where you have all the names of the teams that will be presenting just in a moment. Or you go to menti.com and hit the number
64511387 is your lucky number. You might have to write down, or you check the menti.com in your browser that you don't lose it, because there will be lots of presentations coming up now. So that's your lucky number to go for.
Exactly. And I guess, Chrissy, with this, we are ready to go. And therefore,
Ready for the pitches.
Exactly. And therefore, we would like to invite the first team here on stage. Give a big hand of applause to Fusebox from Estonia.
All right.
Yeah.
Fusebox connects smart infrastructure with energy markets, enabling consumers to earn revenue and contribute to a sustainable society. Is that about right, Alexander?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, then we're all curious. Let's give it a go.
Yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexander, and Fusebox is a global platform for flexibility. But I would say that we are magicians. And that's not because we are from Estonia, the capital of unicorns, but because we pay companies, energy consumers, for going green. So every building has tons of flexibility in their systems. And when they are connected to Fusebox, and we help to balance the energy grid, they save CO2. They get money back. You think how it's possible? Fusebox is an intelligent platform between energy system operator and, in that sense, energy consumer. So it's different types of buildings, cold storages, shopping malls, office buildings, but also energy storage solutions, EV charging stations. So when the energy system operators send us a signal, we forward it to the client, they react, and energy system operator pays us money for that. So if we talk about MindSphere platform, Siemens, so for your customers, it will be totally free, because we will be on your system. Client should just accept a Fusebox mode. We sign an agreement, sign NDAs with him, that we can collect their data, analyze it, participate in the balancing market, and just the way it is. Their journey starts. They will be participating in the balancing market. They will become more sustainable. They will earn revenue and become green at the same time. So they will be just sitting back on their couches and save the planet at the same time. Yeah, as you can see, Fusebox will be just an icon in MindSphere platform, and our client will see a lot of data at the same time. So it will be revenue, it will be how many tons of CO2 they have saved, and we can add on as many features as it's possible. Yeah, so it's, you know, I have told you that we're magicians, and somebody will think that it's some kind of fairy tale, but you know, we're doing it already today. And I show you how. So you click on the Fusebox, and here it is. It's our platform. It's working right now. When we are sitting right here, hundreds of companies participate in the balancing market. Hundreds of companies get a revenue. They can track how much they have regulated. They can track how much they have earned and saved in every day, months, years. Also, they can take out Excel spreadsheets for future analysis. So they can mine data, and data is new oil, as we all know. Yes, also they can track how their building reacts. So the blue line is energy consumption. This pinkish or orange, it's down regulation. So the period when the building was participating in a balancing market regulation. And of course, they can play with the numbers. It's like a game. Also, there are different types of, if a company has many electrical shields with a different data, yeah, you can switch on our platform. So we are thinking that it's not win-win for a MindSphere. It's win-win-win because client will be also engaged. So everyone, MindSphere platform will get more clients, will add value to their clients. Clients will be happy because they will be going green. They will be participating in this going forward to a sustainable future and earn revenue at the same time. It's when you get money for that, it's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Alexandra. 3 minutes left. Very cool. Talking about a fairy tale and buildings and future, I think of a nice castle, environmental friendly. So you definitely are the one to talk to.
Yes, and we really believe in that. And we are just moving forward to this bright future and doing, practical things already now.
Very smart. I'm curious to learn more about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Here's the clicker for you, Sebastian. Next topic.
Yes, so the next topic we have here on stage is Econo from Sweden. So please give a big hand of applause to Econo from Sweden.
And these two gentlemen will cover the topic of energy. And Econo did a stunning job with the incremental learning solution that wowed our Siemens jury and brought you guys to victory in the hack a few months past. So we're all curious now to learn more.
Thank you. So let's get started with the right picture. My name is John Linden, CEO and co-founder of Econo Solutions, and with me I have Richard König, co-founder as well, and our CTO. And in the beginning of December, we came here together with our superstar machine learning engineer Thomas to form Team Econo and do the hack on the future of energy. Econo is a Swedish software company that's doing edge machine learning. And what's unique about what we do is, first of all, that we can deploy this on pretty much any kind of device, from large down to small. And the second thing is that we actually do machine learning, not just inference at the edge. What we do is called incremental online or individual learning. And why does that matter? Well, because every product is not made equal. And when they're not being used equal. They're used in different environments for different purpose, different applications with different load. And this means that think global, act local is more relevant than ever before. Time is crucial when it comes to saving the world, saving sustainability when it comes to energy optimization. And this is where supernovas like Siemens can bring out these kind of solutions and ideas at scale. But the solutions must be handled individually. It cannot be treated as one big group. When it comes to how we approach this, you have to do things on a self-learning basis using sensor data. And the second part is that we can't be reactive. We can't act when something has already happened. We have to be proactive before it actually happens. So the key words here are customization and prediction. Now, during the hackathon, we did an MVP where we demonstrated how we can do self-learning of normal conditions. We can actually predict the behavior. We can detect deviations, and we can retrain to new conditions. And we picked an area that Siemens is also working on at Expo 2020, building automation. Not just any building. We brought along our Swedish superhero Pippi Longstocking and her Villa Villekulla.
Right, so let's get to the hackathon itself. So we decided to bring our own building and even our own solar system here to really make our MVP as realistic as possible. So what you see here is Pippi Longstocking's house, and of course she would like an even indoor climate. And the main factor here we want to predict is the sun exposure, symbolized by the flashlight on the train here. So we have two sensors inside there that catch the sunlight as it passes by. And everything happens behind the scene in this very nice and neat rigging, where we sample the light sensor 20 times per second on the Raspberry Pi here. And we want to be able to predict the sun exposure ahead of time to make a smart HVAC system. So on the Pi, we're on node red, and we use the Mind Connect node to be able to communicate with MindSphere. That was a very neat way to do that. And you see two very simple flows there. The top one, just read the sensors 20 times per second, and the other one is used to receive commands from MindSphere, where you can orchestrate the machine learning to stop training, start training, and detect deviations. We just tell them what to do. And the blue node in the middle there is really what we developed during the hackathon. It's a small local server based on Econos library, and it takes the prediction in high frequency and derives the predicted value, and then sends that at a low frequency to MindSphere, where we can visualize it and make it some real action based upon that. And if you take a look at the server itself, you will see that it's actually written in Python, but we also support C and C++ if you want to have a more efficient solution. And the whole solution that we did is just 250 lines of code. And that is for a generic solution. We can apply this to any problem, like detecting deviation on a pump or a fan or whatnot, right? And using any machine learning technique available in Econos library. So now we know what happens down here on the device. And if we go to MindSphere, we will do the orchestration. We use the visual flow creator to create the dashboard. And here again, the solution is really based on two flows. First one up there is just receiving the data and visualizing it in a dashboard. And the other one is to control the orchestration. It's just the buttons on the dashboard that you will see right now. So here we receive the data at like 10 once per 10 seconds, and down on the device we sample it 20 times per second. So the dark blue chart here is the real value, and the light blue one is the predicted value. And after just 2-3 laps or 24 hours then, we can actually learn the behavior of how the sun is hitting this house specifically. And if we do that, we can then use that to make a smart HVAC system or to detect the deviations, because sometimes things change. Like at Christmas, you put up a nice Christmas tree, right? And then you need to be able to detect that so you don't get it really cold or hot in your house. And with our change detector, we can do that by monitoring the difference. And then we can choose if we want to call for maintenance to our Pippi Longstocking's house, or if we say that, no, this was just me putting up a Christmas tree, it's supposed to be there from now on. And then we can relearn that. Then we just say, okay, something changed, but that is okay. So relearn that and say that this is part of the new healthy system. And we do that, and after just 2-3 more laps, we know the new state. And this is how we enable incremental learning and tailoring the solution to the individual device, looking at high frequency data, and then we can send the derived values, the actual knowledge to MindSphere, where you can do all the orchestration and actually act upon that. You.
Yes. So we complement MindSphere with incremental learning, individual learning, and high definition learning at the edge. MindSphere complements us with everything else by providing the whole comprehensive solution that makes use of the insights that we generate. In our MVP, we learned and looked at sun exposure. That could just as well be temperature, air quality, or the utilization of the room. And all these predictions and all these automated data can be used to optimize automatically how the HVAC system runs, which will save you energy, which was the purpose. And at the same time, you get a lot of valuable insights and information for how to maintain the solution, which can prolong the life length of the product, which is also good from a sustainability perspective. In our solution, we were running on a Raspberry Pi. That could just be as well be any other kind of device. That's what we support. It could have been a motor controller, it could have been a nano, it could be an industrial PC. It doesn't really matter. And that's how we address a market that stretches all the way from industrial to consumer IoT, from large trucks and excavators down to components in even your running shoes. By optimizing just one air conditioner, you're not going to save the world. But when you optimize 1.9 billion air conditioners, you really make a difference. By reducing NOx emissions by over 4% on Siemens Energy's gas turbines, by optimizing the gas burners to the individual superlocal oxygen mix, you will save the world. And poorly maintained heat exchangers actually are liable for 2.5% of the carbon footprint in the world. So when every motor, every pump, every electrical drive, every compressor actually becomes self-learning and predictive, then Industry 4.0 can really happen. So to wrap things up, just want to give you a summary of what we've been showing you. We enable customized energy optimization and maintenance on all things connected. We do it by making it easy and convenient for the software developer. We can run on virtually anything, and we have some very unique capabilities. We complement and integrate intuitively with MindSphere, as we demonstrated in our MVP. And the business value, in my perspective, is pretty obvious. Now, the sustainability value is also quite obvious. And it boils down to running every individual device as efficiently as possible, avoiding fatal wear by predictively and proactively maintaining them, and enabling products to get better and better the more we use them. Thank you.
Thank you to the two of you. You're the living proof that hackers and programmers can have fun, and they're bringing their fun tools and fairy tale heroes with them. Thank you so much. Really cool. Perfect. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to vote for your favorite team. Of course, there will be 5 more coming, but maybe you already have some idea.
So again, how it works, you just scan the QR code, it will be taking you to the website. You can choose from the team that you like the most. And you know what really always strikes me being here with the teams is the creativity, the energy, like this cool use case is just built in a couple of days, right? And then you spend time with these folks and you get out of this and you're super energetic and hopeful that the world becomes a better place in the future for sure.
You got new friends because you all have been working in this hall and programming and doing and developing things together. Really cool.
Exactly. So we're at the third challenge and presentation that has been part of the Future World Series after the building and the energy hack. This was the mobility hack, and we would like to welcome Exo from Switzerland. Give a big hand of applause.
And this startup from Switzerland brought their innovative wheelchair that's been connected and operated in MindSphere to safely navigate passengers with reduced mobility through airports.
That's what we're trying to do, yeah.
So, okay, I wonder, Dubai Airport was already some experience for me, so I'm curious now to learn more.
Yeah, actually it's a quite big airport and it would be quite useful to use it there. So my name is Mohsen Falei. I don't know if it's going Exomotion. Yeah, so, and I'm presenting Exomotion. At Exomotion, we are working on assistive mobility technologies in general. And our focus is on providing mobility services for people with reduced mobility to showcase the potential of the innovation. We are doing it with airport ground handling companies of airports, and currently we're operating in Zurich Airport with the help of Airline Assistance Switzerland. But what are the problems with the existing technology? As you can see, like when it comes to crowded places and narrowed areas, which is the definition of an airport, there are a lot of issues with going around with the normal electric wheelchair. The second thing is that during the rush hours, there are a lot of requests that these ground handling companies they receive, but the number of people providing the service is not that much. So it causes a lot of delay for people that they need this service, and also some people may miss their flight. Also, I took this photo from Geneva Airport. As you can see, one staff member is pushing 2 wheelchairs at the same time to make sure they will get to their flights. Also from the end user perspective, when you look at it, they're completely dependent on the service provider. They lose their freedom and they cannot enjoy the full experience of air travel with their loved ones. To solve these issues, our solution has 2 main components. One of them is the IoT infrastructure that we worked on during the hackathon, and also the mobility device that we prepared and we brought with us last time to Dubai. The device itself is automated, efficient, and convenient. It provides the highest level of motion freedom for its users. They can move in any direction, basically, that they desire. It literally gives back 1 degree of freedom to those who need it the most and have been deprived from it. Also, the multiple driving option enables them to have more freedom. They can go completely autonomous from one point to another, or if they want to have full control on the device, they can control it with the joystick. Also, for the airport, it's easy to store because it's light and also stackable. And of course, the way that we move have been patented through years of research on mobile robotics. So here is a short video showing the device, how it works. As you can see, it can turn at the spot, it can go sideways, and also you can combine all these movements. Basically, if you get somewhere with this device, you would not get stuck there because like even in the areas that it's not supposed to go, for example, this queue, the device can go and also get out. I would move on from this one. Well, last time we had the device here, so it will be more fun to see it in person, but it does the, move. So on the IoT framework perspective, we have the infrastructure, which is basically the agents that we have in the environment, which can be the device, elevators, etc. And also, we need to connect all these devices, sensors, and actuators. And also, at the end, we need a unified framework to connect all these data like together, visualize them, etc. And it's where exactly the MindSphere comes in. So using MindSphere, we are gathering the data, visualizing them, and also based on the data that we have and the analyzers that we apply to it, we can extract policies for the airports, like how to even put their furnitures to make it more accessible, which terminal they have more traffic in, etc., which I will actually show in a bit in the presentation. So in the scenario of the airport, which is, again, just an example of how to use this device and technology, you have a lot of agents in the environment, you connect them with MindConnect, and also you gather a lot of information like the charge, the speed, acceleration, location, regarding the device, also the traffic, PRM request, the gate status, and also like other elements that you have. So here is the MVP we developed during the hackathon. On the management, you see like different airports, like for example, in Geneva Airport, we have some assets that you can see the list of them. And also, you can go and see like what individual devices, where they are, what are they doing, and what is the status of them. Basically, the acceleration, the charge that they have, the estimated time of arrival to the gate, which is quite important there. And also have reports, for example, to know which days that they receive more requests during the month. And also like during the week, if you look at it, like which days they have the highest request. For example, Wednesday is the cheapest flights usually, so you have the highest request maybe at that day, or near Christmas time during the month, like if it's December, then it would be more requests. And also like you can see which terminal is carrying most of the load for the mobility of people with reduced mobility in the airport, so you can manage basically the traffic accordingly. Also for the device, you can see how much they have been used, and based on that, you know when to go for the maintenance, like to do it in advance and know exactly when the maintenance should be done. And also you can have a heat map basically of the environment, and according to that, like make sure like which gate to select for different flights and so on. And also based on that, you can give recommendation, okay, when is the perfect timing for doing the maintenance of the whole system? Or again, as I mentioned, the accessibility of the environment, the energy consumption, and also the mobility services. So basically with MindSphere, we will have the blueprint of a smart airport, and we have started it in Zurich Airport, and we will hopefully expand to other places too. The business potential is massive. Of course, we're providing PRM services in the airport, and it's a growing market due to many factors, including the aging population and a lot of other neurological disorders, like the tendency to go for air travel. And also like only in Zurich and Geneva Airport, only for running the wheelchairs in the environment, they're spending more than 18 million per year, which is mostly because they are manual, and also there are a lot of complexity to manage this staff in the airport. So we are providing the service for the ground handling companies in the airport. We are charging them based on a subscription plan. For example, in the case of Geneva Airport, that they are spending 7.6 million, they will be paying only 3.4, and it's the perfect time again because they were hit the hardest by COVID. So anything which reduces the cost and also make the service better is quite welcome there. By successful implementation of this business plan and a strategy. Basically, we will be having the break even by 2023. And by 2025, we will be operating in 8 airports with a revenue of more than 31 million and 50 full-time employees. Actually, we raised most of the pre-seed, but by the end of the year, we need to raise 1 million more for the seed investment to have a fast go-to-market implementation. And also, regarding the sustainability and the link that it has actually to sustainability is that here I gave the example of using the technology only for the airports, but in general is a mobility device. So it can be for it can be used for last mile transportation or for anyone who wants to use an electric vehicle which is light and also you can carry it in different places. And it makes the operation like much easier for the businesses and also for the end users. It will be much easier that they have their own freedom and independence. There are a lot of actually like different aspects to it, but also, yeah, as you can see, it can, my time actually is like out, but yeah, so a lot of pollution comes from the transportation that we can get rid of that. So far, we have been supported by many places, and also we were lucky enough to be part of the Future Mobility Hack here among the finalists and here to present today here. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible without the help of the team and the advisory board members. And also we have an open position for COO in case someone is interested. Like, please contact me. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. And that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mohsen. I would not solely limit it, this solution for airports. I could see it at malls, at event locations. This is really great.
Actually, for ourselves, right? Being on our feet for almost a week now, yeah.
Here at the Expo
seeing the
grounds.
place, walking around, I can tell you they hurt.
Would have been a nice feature, I have to say.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so that was mobility, quite an interesting one. I like the social aspect of this as well. So we're moving on now to the water hack, which actually...
No, industry.
Oh, sorry, I mixed it up. We're at industry first. That took place just a month ago, before we then move on to water. Exactly. And we have VAR from Italy here with us today to present their solution in the area of water. So please welcome
Of industry
VAR.
and you guys have convinced the Siemens jury with an innovative industrial IoT solution, an AR application built with Mendix, which is the Lego for programmers, that uses OT data from MindSphere for the usage in all sorts of industries. So the stage is yours. Time's up. All right.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Giovanni from Teamvr, and we were a startup in 2014 and we are developing augmented reality applications for the industrial sector as an advanced human-machine interface. And here we are proposing I4OT, an acronym for Immersive and Intuitive Industry 4.0 interface for operation technologies. The IT reality is that the Department of IT always need to work upon detailed reports that come from operations. But operators doesn't have the time to fill all the boring documentation. And IT doesn't have the time to specify each step that they need to follow. And so service is always busy and sad. The OT operators can access the data from MindSphere thanks to mobile phones or smart glasses. And they can access all the reports in that way. But when they are operating, they need just the essential information at the right time for the right task. Also, mobile applications always need to be updated on the local site. And so it's time consuming. So we are presenting our approach that gives a body to MindSphere. And this is an AR body. This is based on the digital twin that can interact with the IoT data or augmented or artificial intelligence, changing colors or shapes depending on the real-time events. This is based on Mendix as the front end and on MindSphere as the backend with the digital twin plugin. Also, the operator, when he's on site, starting from the web browser, can access the AR scene and interact with it. He can access the exact page or exact step during the operation, or visualize the graphs from MindSphere. The IT seniors just have the first time to create where they are the hotspots for the important aspects and the description of each part of the 3D model. Then save it to an asset of MindSphere, and this creates a standard for that particular asset, in industrial asset. Then he visually program which will be the material that changes color or shapes depending on thresholds, which are saved or retrieved from MindSphere. This can also be adjusted manually, and is the 3D model that is instructed, and the OT operator can benefit from these informations. So the OT operator, when he's on site, receives the Mendix link, and he can access the MindSphere digital twin of the map, and so he can see where the issues are in the map, also in the ER scene, and where looks at where the system works and what doesn't work. Also, he can have an AR wayfinding to find and navigate exactly and more naturally to where the problem is. Doesn't it feel like an AR metaverse? And when the status is reached, there is a priority based on a color legend, and the industrial asset is represented thanks to a high resolution texture and dimensions of the asset. So he can navigate or put it side by side with the real asset and understand exactly where the problem is. The second phase is that when the operator is on site, he communicates through Mendix the GPS position so that MindSphere can connect the standard with the exact asset that is in the place. So each asset is connected through the industrial edge, and for example, to IoT 2050. Pressing the dashboard, he can see the real-time data also on the AR scene, and data are presented or from the IoT live stream or by AI predictive algorithms. So colors here are anachronymous, that now the issue is on the connectivity, and then we'll move to power issue. All the data are logged in the window, and the industrial asset really identify where the problem is and its status. So this is in a situation that needs to be operated, and the operator can see it while operating without disturbing. Everything runs on MindSphere, and the operator both has the ability with the phone to do an X-ray vision inside the asset or operate without interference. And when he is done, he just click what he has fixed, and the report is automatically sent to the IT seniors or the service, who is now happy. So our business is the XR in the repairing market, and how we are measuring our impact through main 3 KPIs. The mean time to repair, that is enhanced having the right data at the right time, and our major company client states that they have a 30% increase on productivity, while the first time fixed rate is the number of times that you do correctly the operation at the first time that you perform it. And this can be increased in 2 ways: with a pre-training in a metaverse that is a realistic scene, and this can be done remotely, or calling the local workforce where the problem is, and they have the ability to operate where in that moment with that problem using this intuitive interface that we give them. Also, our solution is modular, and as we said, this can be used in every industrial sector, but in some extent can also be used for building assets, for mobility, or water data and infrastructures. And it can work on any devices, any smartphone or any tablet, because it uses the AR engine that is inside each device, and is programming on JavaScript, that is a common language. So we want IT talk to OT through a digitalized human senses. Our sustainability impact is the empowerment of the local workforce, or even from remote, that can work even if they have never saw that machine before or that specific model. Also, a faster repairing means less energy that is consumed in a bad working operations scenario, and also the downtime is decreased. The training on the metaverse has two positive effects. It's increased safety because it can be done remote, or it avoids travels that maybe are risky or anyway produces CO2 emissions. So our next steps are to connect this methodology that connects IT and OT as a software as a service through Mendix in a widget and MindSphere in the store. As said before, everything is complemented with us. But the most important thing is to receive feedbacks from the IT and OT operators who will use our product and interact to understand how we can increase our solution performances, but also the impact of our approach. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, dear Giovanni. I like the human senses in this fully technical world.
Exactly, and the human thing is also to mix things up. And I was so thirsty talking about water all the time, right? Not even
But
being
now
at
it's the
water.
time,
So
dear
I had
Sebastian.
my sip of water now, and I'm happy now to announce the team that supplied their great idea to the water challenge within the MindSphere Future World Series, which is Hydrogens from Thailand.
Hello, welcome. And this team, they will put a stop to flooding once and for all by harnessing the power of IoT, connectivity, and machine learning analytics. This is all what it's about. And you guys address the problem of global warming, which is causing lots of harm to our cities. So let's hear more. Stage is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We are Smart Water Team from Thailand. Has two consistent of two leading agencies about the smart city promotion and hydro informatics development. So our solution is try to stop flooding in Bangkok. So, and about the problem, we have to address here. One, Bangkok is prone to flooding. And two, there are less interoperability about the complex drainage infrastructure. And three, they are heavily rely on the manual operation. So, not only in Bangkok, Southeast Asia is prone to flooding too. Our idea is MindSphere has the potential to make the flood a thing in the past. So our solution called hydrogen is from hydro with the intelligence. So we aim to stop flooding with the real-time forecasting, and we believe in machine learning analytics. And our customer is all the people who living, traveling, or do business in the Bangkok. And also people has the more important about the city, right? That's why our main question is how to make city dry as fast as possible so all business can run all through the year smoothly. So with the MindSphere, we do MindSphereing all the sensors, 500 sensors, station, pump station, gas, of the along 1,000 kilometers of waterway to the MindSphere. So our design, we collect all the data to the MindSphere, and through the processing to visualize data in the Mendix. And we also can share and build the API to share data to another application and open data also. So in the result that we all pull the data, you will see many kind of data we pull in the MindSphere with the MindSphere way to Visual Flow And we also do predictive water level when it comes. And we have the monitoring data in the dashboard. So it's how we use the platform to monitoring the situation. You see the example, this storm coming from the north. You will see the water is rising. You will see the rainfall is increasing. And we also flood in the some system. And we also include the crowdsourcing of a social sensor that to point out that which area that we need to action first, that we can prioritize the action. With our data, we can use the platform to planning. With forecasting data to predictive, we can planning and do the forecast. So we can mitigate plan to make ahead of time and well prepare. And the next thing is the controlling. We can use the platform and you will see the simulation. This is the fast simulation and we can simulate the pump and we can know what the pump will be operate in somehow. That is all the platform is combined with monitoring, forecasting, and controlling. So in the near future, what is this about? So it's about now, I told you, now system is all the manual, right? So when we have the hydrogen, for the next thing, we planning to fully them in automated. And how? Okay, first, we need to put the all access improve with the IoT sensor. So when we improve that to the IoT sensor, we can manage it automatically. And the next thing, we can put the AI to optimization the pump and the water gate. So they will optimize that how many gates will open, how many pumps will operate. So our business model is so clearly. So first, it is the government initiated investment. We have the digital fund from government, which is contribute about 200 to 500 million baht per year. And next thing, we can work with the PPP model. It's a public-private model in the Bangkok Metropolitan. We can create a company or we can spin up to the startup to handle the solution, to complete the communication. And the next thing, growth part is so clear. So we can expand and monetize to the other sector, such as tourism, real estate, and transportation. So about the ROI, when our platform is operating, we can reduce operation costs, and now we can save the flood prevention cost. That now is around 70 baht per year, 70 billion baht per year. So about sustainability, what our platform can do. So digital technology can save energy consumption. When the problem will solve, okay, we can stop flood, right? It's raining, okay, we can stop rain. But how we manage how to solve the problem as fast as possible. Okay, it's flooding. We have automatic drainage system. So it's die as fast. So when it's die, we have the less traffic jam. We save energy, save fuel to feed the pump. So, and when we less traffic jam, also carbon footprint is less than 2. So, and finally, we believe our hydrogen platform with MindSphere is one of the best solutions that all cities that face the same problem can be applied to be the smart city, to keep city dry, smarter and safer for generations. Thank you.
Khop Ka, dear Team Hydrogen.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
For sure, a great solution when thinking at the weather forecast, and definitely global warming is a case, it's a given. Thinking weather forecast in Australia, New South Wales, Queensland, highly flooded, I think they'd love a solution like that.
No, absolutely. And what I really like about this solution is it shows how diverse these solutions and the ideas that we have just been presented to are in the actually, right? So I hope you enjoyed the show so far, right? I want to bring up again the topic of the possibility that you can vote for your idea that you like the most. So check the QR code on your phone. You will be directed to our webpage where you can select the team that you like the most, the story that you like the most, or the solution that you like the most.
And it's a hard decision, we know, because all these ideas, they are really great and they are so unique, different, and very special in their own business and field.
Exactly. So we have seen the 5 main presentations of our hackathon series in the area of water, building, mobility, energy, and industry. So we're now coming to the co-host challenge. So where we were talking about specific solutions in these 5 topic areas, we're now looking into specific business challenges, right? And for this, we would like to welcome Logic here on stage to talk about the future factory hack that we had just had also 1 month ago here in Dubai. So please welcome Logic from the United States.
Big hand of applause. And Logic fascinated not only the Siemens jury, but also MHP, the co-host in the factory hack. Congratulations on your amazing AI-powered simulation and modeling platform. And we are all curious now to listen and learn.
Thank you for having us. My name is Andrew. Let me turn on application.
Hi, and my name is Kate, and we are Team Logic. We are based in the United States, and we brought together a very strong team with experience in data science and product as well to make sure that we build a solution that our customers love.
We work with many global enterprises to address the challenge of building end-to-end models. Some call them digital twins, but in reality, they represent what's happening from raw materials and suppliers to manufacturing to the end product. And there's a whole bunch of issues when it comes to building data models. And the 2 main ones that we found was lack of clear return on investment. So when companies are investing in a project, special digitization, how do you identify how much money you're gonna invest versus how much is gonna be return on investment? Second is lack of structured data. So if we had all the data, we could get the results, but what happens when we don't have the data we need? So those were the 2 biggest challenges that we were addressing while building digital twins. And to solve that, we actually had to design 3 different pillars, not just 1. The first one was the platform. It was designed for employees and management consultants like MHP, who represent our customers. It was designed for employees, and it was very simple and intuitive to use. The second was proprietary human-augmented machine learning, designed not to analyze the data we have, but identify what data we're missing, and then capture the data, simulate the data we're missing, identify what's sensitive, what's important, and then be able to go and collect it if we need to. Last one was the new framework, which was designed to look at how do we build the model from scratch? How do we look at the business outcome we want, run iterations and simulations like scientific method, and then be able to go and build those models quickly. We worked with teams at MHP who actually imitated the entire customer's production line. So they put robots and provided real-time data from them. A team from Siemens created a digital twin of those machines. And we were able to get real-time data from them to see how those machines perform. And we started with 0 data and an empty model, just to see how much we can accomplish in 3 days. As David mentioned, it's very important to get to the market fit very, very quickly. So first, we imported all the data we have. Some of it is static, some of it is real-time from MindSphere. And then we created models. So those models that actually run and help us simulate what's going on. They're very simple to understand. So you can see what goes inside of every single model, and it's scalable from factory to factory very quickly because end users can see what goes inside of it. If new variables are important, they can input them. They can customize inputs, customize formulas, and customize outputs all by themselves. The next level is executive view. So the model is actually, the platform is built for different roles. So if you're an executive, you want to see what's going on with different brands, different regions. What we're considering as end-to-end, is it just procurement, planning, manufacturing, whole bunch of other data, including sustainability. And then we can take any kind of KPIs. The platform is low-code, no-code, so you can take KPIs, drag them to the top, see what's important. In this case, you can see the inventory is actually a little negative. So what happens when we increase the production by 1%? We can actually see what happens not just for production, but everything related to it. And all of this is powered by the formulas we just showed you. So all these simulations are actually interconnected. And we can double click into it, so we don't just see a general summary, but we can actually see everything that's made up from and what goes inside of which formula. We can keep adding, making formula more complex, and expanding the model very quickly. We also connect all the models and everything for the products themselves. So sustainability connected to the components, to the products, and we really understand what's happening with their entire business. To create a more complex simulation, what we did in 3D is not only we took data available from MindSphere, but we also added simulated data within a range of business practices to see what happens if we don't just try to save energy, but try to improve the business themselves. So what we saw is if we increase OEE, which is a manufacturing standard rather than a business standard, by 10%, it had a much bigger impact than just adding energy savings or reducing the cost of capital. So this is unexpected results we usually see by being able to connect data from different functions together and not just looking at the functions themselves. And before we claim that we have savings or productivity improvements, we have to verify with people. So technology actually understands who are the domain experts for each of those functions, and then we can collect the information and verify those right within the platform because it understands who has the domain expertise, and we can contact them directly from the platform before taking it to executives and actually asking them to invest in the project. And within 3 days, we also integrated fully with MindSphere, so you don't have to hop from platform to platform. You can go inside of MindSphere, click on the icon, and it will take you right into the platform. And the data from MindSphere can be easily connected in real time to the platform. And data is pushed back to MindSphere, so when customers keep adding more information, MindSphere gets smarter and smarter as well.
And we created this model within only 3 days, when we worked very closely with the team from Siemens and also the team from MHP. So just imagine what we can do together if we work for 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I can't help, I have the feeling it looks so easy, that it's gaming and the programming is quite connected, huh?
Oh, it is, absolutely. Do you like gaming by any chance?
Oh, come on, just admit it. Yes, you do.
Well, maybe we can create a little bit more excitement here in the room by
Exactly.
hearing about a very nice
bridge.
case, yeah, about gamification. And what I like about this case is because it's with the partner Mastercard, and Mastercard is also a sponsor here of the Expo in Dubai. So I'm happy that we could come together and work on the challenge here together. So with this, I would like to welcome the Carbon Games from Portugal, who present now a really nice idea about how gamification can make a change in, making the world a better place.
Exactly, and it's about transportation now. Isidra, the Carbon Games, your startup, you created an innovative platform that motivates on a day-to-day basis to be more sustainable and to reduce one's carbon footprint.
Exactly.
And with this idea, you convinced the Mastercard and Siemens jury just yesterday evening with our final hack. So
yeah,
give it a go one more time and
Thank you.
Bring your enthusiasm on stage.
Thank you for the great introduction. Hello, everyone, again. We were here yesterday, but we're very excited to be in the finale of the Future World Series. We're the Carbon Games. So when we first started thinking about what problem we would solve for this hackathon, we quickly arrived at the stressful commute to work. I have personal experience driving for an hour and a half to work in Chicago for many years, but generally everybody can agree that commutes are stressful, lonely, and bad for the environment. Not only they add so much CO2 emissions to the atmosphere, but they're also bad for employee morale. You can imagine that when I got to work after an hour and a half of driving, I was pretty tired. But it doesn't have to be that way. We believe that by gamifying commutes, we can make them fun, social, and even carbon neutral. Take, for example, this statistic that if only 1 out of 5 people that drive to work decided to instead join a coworker today, instead of driving by themselves, we could save up to 2.2 billion tons of CO2 in a year. And you can imagine that those people that drove to work together now, they probably had a better time than driving separately. So how are we going to convince people to do this? Well, through our awesome gamified application in 2 simple steps. Step 1 is to earn credits whenever you choose the low carbon route to work. And step 2 is to spend those credits on exclusive rewards and experiences that we will populate for you in the app. These are some of the technologies that we use to put our app together. The Here API, which automatically calculates the best routing alternatives already optimized for the lowest CO2 emissions. The MindSphere API that we use for secure user authentication and for hosting our proprietary carbon calculator. And in the future, we plan to add the MasterCard Priceless API to offer the exclusive MasterCard Priceless experiences for our users. Next, you'll see a short video about how our MVP works.
Welcome to the Carbon Games MVP Enterprise Edition. We will begin by logging in with a demo account for a fictional Siemens employee named Colin Thomas. We will also log in with a demo account for Colin's fictional colleague Michael Scott on a separate phone. Back to Colin's account, we see a simple user interface showing the options Work, Home, and Meetings at the top.
Ah, okay.
Welcome to the
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Welcome to the Carbon Games MVP Enterprise Edition. We will begin by logging in with a demo account for a fictional Siemens employee named Colin Thomas. We will also log in with a demo account for Colin's fictional colleague Michael Scott on a separate phone. Back to Colin's account, we see a simple user interface showing the options Work, Home, and Meetings at the top. At the bottom, there's a large Earn button. Let's click that. In the split second that it took to load the screen, we have already generated an access token for Colin on MindSphere. The authentication token from MindSphere allows us to keep all the data secure within this connection. Using MindSphere for authentication dramatically simplifies the number of steps we need to verify users within our app. Once authenticated, we see 4 trip categories. Carbon negative, that offers the lowest carbon footprint path to your destination, followed by transit, hire, and drive. The credits you see here are generated in real time, depending on your location, through our Mendix API hosted on MindSphere. Let's take a peek at the back end to see how that works. Once we receive a request, we process around 15 parameters to determine the correct number of credits to issue to the user based on their transportation choice. Parameters such as type of fuel, size of the vehicle, mode of transport, and more. On MindSphere, we can update weights assigned to each of these parameters and keep a log of all the requests from authenticated users. All this happens in milliseconds. Let's go back to the front end. Clicking on carbon negative, we see that work from home has the most points, since it's the option with the lowest CO2 footprint. In the transit section, we see the Dubai Metro and a company bus option available. In the future, we plan on using location clustering to identify frequented employee routes, which we can then suggest to corporates as a viable bus route to reduce CO2 emissions. Finally, we move on to the feature that our team is most proud of developing during this hackathon, the Carpool. Let's assume that Colin was going to drive to work. He clicks on Car and selects Private Car. He receives a pop-up asking if he would like to offer a carpool. If he clicks Yes, we instantly generate a time-specific and location-specific on-demand carpool for any of his office colleagues who are nearby. The current nearby radius is 5 kilometers from his location. Since Michael is within that radius and has already been authenticated by MindSphere, he can see Colin's carpool as one of his trip options. Colin earns bonus points for picking up Michael. In addition, our carpools can accommodate more than one co-worker, thereby reducing CO2 emissions with each additional passenger while also increasing the bonus credits earned by Colin. Let's return to the main page and see how we can spend these credits. Through partnerships with corporate ESG initiatives, we plan to offer individual rewards, group rewards, and department-wide rewards to foster healthy competition among colleagues. Users will also have the option to donate their credits to the MasterCard Priceless Planet Coalition to plant trees to offset their carbon impact. Thank you for your attention. Now
Now
back
that you
to our
saw
presenter.
how our MVP works, you might be wondering who is going to pay for these credits. Well, the businesses are, the companies, in 3 transactions. There will first be onboarding consultation fee, where we figure out a baseline of their CO2 emissions. And then we find out what budget the companies have to reduce the CO2 emissions, and we convert that budget into credits to use in our app. And finally, a monthly subscription fee to upkeep the app and add new features like the company bus for Siemens that we showed in the MVP. But why would Siemens and other companies pay for this? Well, because especially larger corporations have a disproportionate impact on CO2 emissions for the environment, and governments around the world are requiring them to lower this impact. There could also be travel-related expenses that they could save on over time if their salespeople, for example, carpool to a sales meeting together. In addition, we thought of some other things that they could do through our app, like offer bonus credits to employees that travel during non-peak hours, so foster more sustainable behavior. Essentially, we're offering companies a proactive way to cut on emissions instead of how it's most commonly done today through reactive approaches of offsetting these emissions. We believe that our app can be used in any city around the world and also in other verticals, not just transportation, verticals like food or slow fashion. And here is a snapshot at our team. That's me over there. I'm an architect and urban planner. My co-founder, Nikhil, is an economist and a startup coach. These are our developers. And we also have an advisor that is the CEO of a gaming studio in Chicago that is helping us with the gamification of the platform. That's it from our end. Thank you so much for your attention, and let's go save the world.
Thank you, Isida. Very well done. I think I have to change my car. I have a Mini Cooper and I don't fit that many people in there, so I might go for a bigger one. Or maybe I get extra credits for taking somebody on the back of my bike.
You definitely should. So I love this case, right? So I want to ask you again. So how do you feel now about gamification? Isn't this cool?
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So one more time, your chance to vote for your favorite team. Now that you've seen all 7 of them, you have a good possibility to compare and really take your decision. Of course, you can give 2 votes, but at the end, if we vote for everybody every time, we're not going to end this competition tonight. We're going to go in rounds and rounds. So click for your preferred team. Well, I guess now that we've seen all the cases, we're going to go for a short break. But we will do this not just with logging off. First of all, you guys can stretch in here, you can walk, you can have a drink, and then you come back in 5 minutes. And for the virtual audience, you can do the stretching as well. You can get a glass of water, cup of coffee, and you can stay with us, as a matter of fact, because we will just use 14 seconds to go to our next position here, as we're going to change and shift the studio upside down to surprise you with a new setup.
So we will be right back and see you all again rather soon. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay, hi everybody, and here we are again at Expo 2020 in Dubai. And as we just promised, we're back here in our studio. While the change is happening, we have a very special guest, and I'm very honored to have him here, Mr. Afzal, who is the man on the ground who knows the Expo site and all the things going on here like his own pocket. So happy to have you here, Afzal. Just a quick
First
word.
of all, maybe Sebastian, we mentioned where we are. That's what you see behind is like the landmark, the icon of Expo 2020, which is the plaza and its dome. Wonderfully illuminated at night, so really worth it. And we're just right here in our studio having that in the back. And Afzal, I mean, you have planned this thing. You are the Vice President of IoT and Technology and Innovation at Siemens in the UAE. It's been your project here. You know this place, as Sebastian mentioned, like no other. You must be proud of such a great event and such a great outcome, and working on that for so many years, visionary thinking and so on. Share some insights maybe with us here and the virtual community, what Siemens has done here at Expo.
So thank you, Christine and Sebastian, for having me today on this talk. It's been an amazing journey for Siemens. We are the premier partner for infrastructure digitalization. For me personally, this project is one of the toughest projects in my 24 years of personal career in enterprise and command and control center business or a critical infrastructure. Because the project itself, the nature of the project was so unique. You need to actually build a city smart, but also manage a mega event together, focusing on safety, security, comfort for everyone who's coming here. So Siemens technology, as you see, touches different parts of buildings. We are connecting to more than 130 plus buildings to bring the data.
Say it again, because it's an incredible number.
It is, yes, it's unbelievable, right? This side is double the size of Monaco, right?
Monaco.
Yes, exactly. And we are connecting to 130 plus buildings. Different technology, Siemens, non-Siemens, bringing the data from the building management systems to security systems to environmental management system to waste, to data coming in from water, utility meters, you name it. We are talking to 20 plus enterprise systems. So this entire exercise itself was an amazing experience to build up and deliver a project, what we call co-creating with customer. Just imagine, you start from nothing and deliver a project of this high quality.
We've been around at the fairground, and Sebastian showed me, like in each pavilion, he said, look at that, this little white box, that's Siemens. We are checking the air in here. So especially in COVID times, very, very important to have a good air quality also inside of the buildings.
And exactly, this number is also very impressive because 130 buildings sound for some people maybe in the city context rather small, right? But if I look at the numbers of sensors, Afzal, how many do we have built in here?
So if you look at, right, that's an amazing part, isn't it? We are talking to 21 building management systems, having close to 200,000 sensors. Plus there are other sensors which are IoT in nature, which are run on 5G technology, and our security management system, you know, if you look at, that connects to about 15,000 cameras we're talking about, and 5,000 card readers. So I can just go on with numbers, but that's a unique. What we talk about, the use cases, volume of data, variety of data we process and provide information to variety of stakeholders.
So actually, how long have you been planning on this? Because it's not just done within this. You had so many different partners to talk to and to organize all this.
And this has been one of the success ingredients for the project, right? So every partner has to contribute. So as Siemens is a premier partner for infrastructure digitalization, we had other partners like Accenture, like Cisco, Digital 14, and others who are contributing to various topics. So from Siemens, it was kind of a melting pot to deal with partners and Expo, the end customer itself. So we need to actually come up with ideas to collaborate, ideas to accelerate, and with challenges like COVID, we need to adapt to work from home and also deliver a project of this size. So that has been an amazing learning curve while we are learning, collaborating, and contributing to the success.
So you have been in this for so long, right? And yes. I can still feel this positive energy talking to you. I've seen plenty of presentations, by the way, as you know. it's unbelievable, right? And I can feel that this place really provides you also this energy. So Afzal, I guess you had a life before the Expo. Maybe you can share some insights to the audience what you did before.
Yeah, it's an interesting part, right? So prior to Expo, I was heading the business development, strategy, innovation, and digitalization for Middle East for building technologies, wherein I got a chance to interact with a variety of partners. I specialize in smart cities, critical infrastructure, command and control centers, and smart infrastructure. So that gave me an opportunity to actually work on this particular project. But yes, Sebastian, I had a different life prior to Expo. This has been an amazing journey, very interesting journey. And indeed, I would say stressful, challenging, but you can really enjoy what I did here because of the team and the atmosphere we're working in.
And you're still smiling after all. I can imagine really stressful times as well, as you say.
Yes, a project of this nature do bring challenges, but the good part is team is here. We worked as a team, not only within Siemens, but across the partnership with the customer. It was all about a progress, delivering a project with common agenda, delivering the milestones as planned.
Yeah, so I like the part about enjoying, right? Because we've been enjoying our time here so much, and it's been a very enjoyable journey also with the Partner Expo. So Afzal, I would really like to know what you enjoyed the most here at Expo, not talking about business, not talking about the project. So what was your personal highlight?
For me, to be frank enough, I leave the business, can't leave it because that's what I've been doing majority of my time. But yes, let me touch on some topics. So it is the atmosphere itself. Just imagine where in the world you would see 190 countries participating, scale of this project, people you meet, culture, art, technology, startups, for example. Look at the enthusiasm the startups bring to the table. It's all about, it's like a melting pot, right? That was a unique mix for me to really appreciate this entire project, right? So a lot of learnings from this, and personally, I'm really, really satisfied with the outcomes, what we have created out of this project.
Absolutely.
And as you say, Expo, where the world meets, which is the motto, the claim of this event here. And you could literally see it no matter which direction you were looking, which pavilion you were entering. The world is there. Everybody's there and enthusiastic about what we see, what we learn, the showcases in the different countries which have been explained, sustainability on the top notch, where everybody tries to avoid global warming, to show their solutions, and great animations, I have to say, giving me goosebumps. I checked that with the camera, just thinking of that. I think I was sitting there last night until 12 o'clock just to watch flying to the moon into space in this animation here. It's incredible, really.
So another topic that also really excites me, right, is the topic of sustainability, right? And we've been hearing a lot, we've been seeing a lot, all the great presentations that from the teams that have been presented just some minutes ago are somehow in the nature of improving things and making the planet a better place for us to stay and for us to, further evolve and develop human mankind. So I'm very happy that things come to life. So after thank you so much for being with us. It's always a great pleasure spending time with you, and I hope we will still have some time tonight to go and experience even more highlights together. So with this, thank you very much for being with us today once again, and then see you a little later at our panel, by the way, that will be one of the next topics.
Exactly, but now that we've been talking about what has happened the last 5 months, we only have 3 more weeks here at the Expo, and then it will be over at end of March in 2021. So 2022, sorry. So what will happen? How will this site be used? This is something what we will talk about, and now it's time to welcome our guest of honor for today's keynote, Nadime Mehra. She's the Vice President of District 2020 at Expo 2020 in Dubai. Nadime oversees business developments, sales, partnership management for this wonderful, really wonderful site, driving commercial strategy, business and financial planning, ecosystem development, and global business engagement with the aim of, and here we go again, supporting the creation of a sustainable legacy, and long-term economic opportunities are her scope. Welcome her with a big hand of applause after the video which will unveil what's going to happen at the Expo Fairground, and we will take a close look into the future.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thanks. It's a pleasure to have you all here today. Our contestants, entrepreneurs, partners, and all other Expo 2020 Dubai visitors for the MindSphere Future World Series Grand Finale. Expo 2020 Dubai will draw to a close in only 3 weeks, but that's not where the story ends, far from it. Today, we'll gain a glimpse of the legacy Expo 2020 Dubai will carry forward and potential of technology innovation through the ideas and solutions proposed by the teams here with us today. Expo 2020 Dubai was built to serve a purpose beyond showcasing the making of a new world. District 2020 will carry forward its legacy as a human-centric city of the future and a global hub for innovation that supports people and businesses to thrive and unleashes human potential. The ideas we'll see today reflect the same future-focused thinking and purposeful collaboration we will cultivate at District 2020. Sustainable design and planning were at the very heart of Expo 2020 Dubai's purpose from its very inception. Looking ahead, over 80% of the assets and built infrastructure will be retained and repurposed into a multi-purpose community to live, work, and of course, explore. It will continue to be a hub for innovation and collaboration between diverse global entities, from entrepreneurs to Fortune 500 companies, government, and academia, to create a smarter, more balanced, resilient, and sustainable way of life. The District 2020 blueprint puts people at the heart of its design. Careful consideration was given to how people would live and work in an urban environment that fulfills both their professional and personal lifestyles. This will be seen through its human scale environment, integrating flexible workspaces with residential and a range of social and cultural attractions. Diverse F&B, retail, and hospitality options, and so much more to create a true 15-minute city that provides everything you need just a short walk or cycle away. With great pride, we can also say that District 2020 will inherit and take forward a site that was designed to host one of the most sustainable and well-connected mega events in the world. All of this will come to life following a phased period of repurposing as we transition the site and hand over to our first tenants, including Siemens, starting from the summer of 2022. With Siemens helping to realize our shared vision of the blueprint for a human-centric, smart, and sustainable city, District 2020 will inherit an advanced technology infrastructure that will help us to spur innovation solutions to urban challenges that's driven by purposeful collaboration. Today's event demonstrates this ambition. In the following hours, we will address all 5 topics of the MindSphere Future World Series: buildings, energy, mobility, industry, and water. We will explore how we can leverage the power of technology and IoT to create more livable, environmentally friendly, and sustainable smart cities. We will see how innovative thinking and collaboration could lead to transformative solutions in how we live, adopt responsible business practices, move around, consume, interact with our built environment, and safeguard our precious resources. Let me give you a few examples of what this looks like. Siemens' MindSphere helped to make Expo 2020 Dubai the most sustainable expo in the history of World Expos. MindSphere digitally linked more than 130 buildings to help optimize operations, reduce carbon emissions, conserve water and energy, and enhance the visitors' comfort and security. Through access to this data and analytics in real time, better decisions could be made. When it comes to mobility, innovative applications of IoT, smart mobility solutions, robotics, and smart applications can reshape how we move and interact within an urban community and encourage it to function both smarter and more sustainably. For example, at District 2020, we will pilot a dedicated autonomous vehicle route that will help to reduce pollution while encouraging more efficient and convenient mobility of residents and visitors. When it comes to industry, advanced IoT and technology applications are driving disruptive industry innovation and business growth, while helping companies to operate faster, more intelligent, and better connected with each other. This can also help us to create an ecosystem of businesses and enterprises that holds environmental awareness and being socially responsible at its very core, a core that we value at District 2020. MindSphere initiated the Future World series to bring together people who want to help make our world smarter, more livable, and sustainable. We will discuss technological challenges and the opportunities arising by bringing the physical and digital world closer together. I really enjoyed watching the winning teams present their solutions earlier, and I cannot wait to see how the future unfolds. Whether you're a sustainably expert, IoT enthusiast, an environmental activist, a business representative, a hacker, an expo visitor, a techie, we all have a part to play. Thank you all for joining us.
And thank you, dear Nadimi, for these wonderful words. Also, all the best of luck for you for the further activities here on site. And Siemens is definitely a proud partner to be here with the office in the future. Well, we are at this wonderful site already, and Afzal is sitting here next to me. He's one of our panelists. And of course, we already have the new setup now with the round of panelists to discuss our speed panel, as we call it. But first of all, I want to inform you that you still have the chance to vote for your favorite team. It's not much longer anymore. So if you haven't made up your decision yet, and with the motivating, inspiring words by Nadime, we might think of which solution works best for this place here as well. So let's get ready for the speed panel. How does it work? We do have our experts here. We have 7 statements, 7 solutions, and we'll take 5 minutes for each of the topics, and we'll explore how the power of IoT can be leveraged to create more livable, environmentally friendly, and a more sustainable smart city. Topics as said: buildings, energy, industry, water, and mobility. So let's discuss the most pressing challenges and opportunities arising from the convergence of the physical and the digital worlds. Now, we are sitting here and we're not gonna just talk about our own things here. Now is the time again for you guys to get involved in this. And Sebastian knows more.
Exactly. Just to add a little bit more complexity to all the things going on here, right? We have created another QR code where you get the chance now also to submit your questions to the team here on site. So we will be very happy to receive your feedback, your questions, whatever is on your mind to be part of the conversation over here. So another QR code, scan it. It will take you to the website where you can then submit your questions to us, or you use menti.com again, this time with a new number. It's 94672261. So that's the way, that's the channel into our conversation here. So stay with us and enjoy the show. We're kicking things off. And I would like to welcome everyone here in the panel of today's Future World Series talk, I would say.
The grand finale.
The grand finale, exactly. So, Alexander, just raise your hand quickly so the audience knows exactly who you are. We have John here with us. Hi, John. Good to have you. We have Mosen. Great to have you again. Giovanni, so that was a little bit too fast here. Sorry for that. Okay, but I have a backup here. We have Andrew. Hi, Andrew. And we have Titi Porn here with us as well. Good to have you too. And we have Isidra. Also nice to have you here on our panel this afternoon.
And Giovanni.
And Giovanni. Yes, correct. Thank you. Okay, so the way it works, it's pretty simple, as Christine already said. So there is 5
minutes for each topic.
Exactly. We have a controversial statement that we will address to the audience here, and we would like to ask you to either agree or to disagree. And then we will take this into a conversation, hopefully a very lively discussion. So stand up for your right. Yeah, so it's nothing wrong, nothing right. We want to enjoy this discussion here together with the audience out there. So let's kick it off with buildings. And I would bring up the statement of ever-growing cities with skyscrapers and artificially maintained landscapes are the only solution to provide sustainable living. So who agrees and who disagrees?
All right,
Okay.
that's pretty clear. So maybe we want to start with Mosen. You were pretty clear that you do not agree with this.
The thing is that, like, we know, like, traditionally, even when you look at the societies, based on which environment they're in, they adjust their architecture. Actually, she's an architect, so I shouldn't really start, but depending on the weather, depending on the resources that you have in different environments, you should live differently. And we cannot really apply one template of, like, civilized or advanced society to every other society. So depending on the environment, they should, live that way. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I completely agree. And I just wanted to add to that, that if we just look at the Expo area here, it's not a high-rise environment. It's a low-rise to mid-rise, and they are planning to make it a livable city in the future. And I think it's actually the mixed-use development that will make that possible. Areas to live, areas to work, areas to entertain.
Talking about entertainment, maybe we want to ask Jon, Pippi Longstrump, will she be happy here?
Well, I guess Villa Villekulla is pretty far from anything you see out here, though some buildings are pretty crazy in the Expo as well. But my immediate thought is that it doesn't all evolve around big cities. Like myself, I live in a city with 65,000 people. It's one of the fastest growing cities in Sweden. People are leaving the big city areas to go into smaller cities, closer to nature, other values and priorities. And I mean, I have a fiber connection straight into my summer house with 1 gigabit connectivity. I can do everything that I can do at the office from there. So that's also part of the equation that we have to consider. It's not just a focus on the big cities.
Mm-hmm. And Giovanni, you look into the machines with the X-ray. What about looking into the skyscrapers and the cities with an X-ray solution? Any ideas on that?
Yeah, as we talked before, also with Andrew, there are also the bureaucratic delays that then becomes issues as the parameters that were thought years before, then in the building that is built today are no longer compliant. And so everything that creates a delay then creates an issue. And technology has the ability to speed it up and so reduce this factor. And also it has to be helped through laws and regulations. But we think that technology really can enhance the building's future.
Yeah, and I think it's important to focus on where we are, and the Future World Series is an opportunity for companies from all around the world to come here and represent their ideas. So saying that the only way to do something is already limiting. Just even the skyscraper, when we think of a skyscraper, we don't think of a vertical farm that creates food for people. So it's really important to be open to new ideas and start with the question, how do we build sustainable city? What needs to be happen for us to be sustainable? And if we just stop at that and let people come up with their own ideas, and then we can quickly test those ideas and see what sustainable is, and is it scalable, then we will see a lot more opportunities than trying to limit it.
Maybe TT Born as well, because you were working on the Bangkok scenario with the flood prevention. A sustainable city definitely does not have floods. So what about your solution or your idea?
About the sustainability that can create with the platform that in the future, and now we have the problem that so that sustainability is look so far, but when the future we can create platform with the technology, so is the problem will solve or less damage, so it will create more sustainability too.
Perfect. So let us come to Alexander now, because that was the only sign to the opposite. How can your solution help make future urban environments more livable? What would you say?
Yeah, I totally agree with the opponents, but I would like to bring another perspective, because buildings as consumers, as energy consumers, and in a future city, we can have solar panels, we can energy storage solutions, and that will form like a closed environment, energy environment, closed network. And with the help of a fuse box, a virtual power plant, we can make it more sustainable to balance energy within this closed system. And for example, push out the fossil fuel generators from that market. You know, this is like one of the first steps that can be done easily.
Okay, great inspirational thoughts. Let's move to the next statement.
Exactly. So you mentioned energy is a very important topic here. So I have a statement for you that says, company without a sustainable plan to incorporate renewable energy in their energy mix should be revoked their business license. So how do you like this one?
All right, that's like half. No, more red than.
Yeah, we have a little bit more red
disagree. Okay, who wants to start and give it a go?
I can give a go. No, you know, this resolution is like very straightforward. I think that if you would like to go for a more sustainable future, you should just think out a road plan. What is like the next step, like a perspective of 2025, 2030, 35, and saying that, okay, tomorrow we will, or like in a year, we will push out the companies, you know, that will ruin the economy. And that's definitely not the thing that we would like to make it, you know.
Okay, John, I think you had also a comment here.
Sure. I'm not a big fan of legislations. They're typically just inspiring people to try and circumvent them. But I'm a big believer in carrot and the stick, and giving the incentive. And I think that if you can put money on it and have companies, force companies into actually having that as part of the financial reporting and put a value on it, then they start thinking, and then they're going to have the incentive to change the behavior. That's hopefully the best thing to do.
Good point.
Yeah, and it's a challenging question to say yes or no. I think the companies that are large and create a lot of sustainability issues should have a plan to be sustainable. Forcing small companies and startups to have a sustainability plan and then enforcing it would actually create it very challenging for small businesses to start. A lot of startups here, if they would have to have a third-party compliance on sustainability, it will cost them so much they will never be a business. And we should build more tools for companies to become sustainable, and more companies should focus on sustainability. And then, as John said, if we have a cost for sustainability for larger companies that are producing it, they will be incentivized to actually be sustainable.
Afsal wants to say something here.
Yes. Actually, this is my favorite topic. While I agree on what John has said, don't legislate too much, but we still need legislation. If not, how do you bring them together to focus on something we need to solve together? So yes, we do need a regulation, but with an incentive to encourage them to actually participate. So it's important to have a regulation, and it's important that the established enterprise businesses should be given with stringent requirements, because they have pockets to actually fund the innovation and drive the innovation, whereas the startups can actually follow that and join that forces. So legislation is important, incentive is important, collaboration is important to make it work.
Okay, good statement. Sidina, you're kind of raising your hand. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't agree more. We at the Carbon Games are all about positive reinforcement. So if we can reward great sustainable behaviors in companies, that's what we would choose to do. And the negative reinforcement would just push people further away.
Okay. I think I can ask Jon already, because it was your solution with the energy from the team Econo. How does your solution now help to promote the integration of renewable energies in companies?
Well, it doesn't. Well, I think that should be a given. Anyone who can use renewable energy should be using renewable energy. I hope that is the incentive. What we can do, though, is that we can help optimize the consumption of energy. That's our strength. And I always argue that what we do in terms of smart IoT and edge machine learning is the next big sustainability leap, because we have for decades been optimizing the general design of products to make them as energy efficient as possible. Now we have to optimize how every individual unit runs at its best. So the air conditioner is actually adapting to the surrounding environment, the use of the room, the seasonal changes, all these different things. Then we can really make a difference when we add up millions of smart devices that reduce power consumption. So that's what we're aiming for.
Okay, as we've seen here, already in place at the Expo Fairground with our smart devices and the sensors, which help a lot to be sustainable. Well, dear audience, don't forget to send us your questions. As you see, we have a lively discussion here, and we have the specialist to cover your burning questions on all these topics. So don't forget that. Let's move to the next one.
So, and I actually can see first questions coming in. Yeah. So please feel free to continue to send us your questions, so we get the chance here to answer as many as possible. So you basically can already see that we're following the kind of same order as we did it for the last 1.5 hours. So we're coming now to the mobility topic, which to me is really a very special and very exciting case. So here's my statement. Equal and standardized mobility needs to be accessible to every human, disregarding its social, democratic, and health status. Out of the norm travel must be compensated for the financial gap to allow everyone to travel at a minimum defined global standard. So how do you feel about this one? Okay,
uncertain, Andrew.
A lot of agreement here, but we can also see that there is at least 3 gentlemen disagreeing. So, John, why are you disagreeing?
Well, I mean, the development of any kind of disruptive technology needs to find its place in the market. Someone who finds it valuable, who appreciates it. Just look at the customer adoption curve. You have the early adopters, the innovators, the majority, and so forth. It's okay that people are willing to pay a premium for certain kinds of mobility, and trying to do otherwise is just going to disrupt or disturb the market development, in my opinion.
Okay, so Isidar, you go next, please.
Yeah, you can go.
I think I will strongly disagree with you. I mean, it's just to put it mildly even. So the thing is that there's some stuff that are human right. Like if there is a disability, the person is like should have that. It's like having air to breathe. Even like actually more than that, because like at some places, if it's polluted, you can pay for like if you want to like, I don't know, like make the air like more healthy for you. But this is basic. This is, I think, much more basic than many things. That the problem is that we don't see it. The problem is that even when you take the bus, you don't look at even the gap, a small gap. The wheelchair gets stuck there. The problem is that you go to many places, they didn't even think about putting a ramp. Imagine you are going to a restaurant to see your friends. You don't even think about if the restaurant is accessible with a wheelchair. But those people, they need to consider everything, and it actually causes a lot of anxiety and social exclusion. So I cannot really disagree more than this. Yeah.
Okay, so John was raising his hand.
Very
and
quick
before we
comment.
come to you,
Just a very quick comment, because I agree that it should be the right, and it's a question of getting there. It's a different question of how you get there. I don't have to go by helicopter, which is a much more expensive option, versus going by car or taxi, and that is what I'm referring to. But otherwise, I totally agree.
Good that there's at least some harmony. Isida was first.
Okay. Thank you. I think there's also another aspect to this, other than the users, is the location. I used to be a digital nomad and we traveled around a lot, and we actually ended up in the Dominican Republic, in a small little town on the north, where the only public transportation is this guagua. It's like a van and it has like 50 people inside, where it should have only 10. And I think places like that need government reinforcement to have a standard transportation authority system like the RTA here in Dubai. And mobility, dignity is very important for everyone.
Andrew was uncertain, pending.
Well, it's a hard question because I completely agree that we should have a minimum standard for people. In US, we have ADA that requires wheelchair access for a lot of buildings, commercial buildings, especially restaurants and other businesses. And that's extremely important because people with issues and mobility challenges can go get places. On the other spectrum of things, nobody needs to fly into space non-commercially, but without doing it, we will never experiment and we will never succeed. So it really depends on what people need to accomplish. For example, getting here from the United States without a plane would have been hard, but everyone doesn't need a plane to be able to commute.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Depends where you want to go.
Exactly.
Maybe the last 2 cents, I think,
I think we need a microphone for you.
Like,
or you still have one?
I
Is
might,
that on?
I think
It's
so,
still
yeah.
on.
Okay, I can survive, yeah, I think it's, thank you, Christine. So, I'm a great fan of inclusivity because it's important that we have as many as included, but with choice. You can't impose things. There should be a choice for people to decide what is right for them and make those choices for themselves. And there should be enough choices for people with diverse opinions.
Fair point. And it's also moms with strollers. They're having the same problem. I mean, that's actually for the first time then when somebody realizes, oops.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, like even the definition in the law in Europe, for example, is a reduced mobility, meaning that if you cannot stand too long, if you cannot walk too long, you're in the category. You don't, like, it's a very wide range, actually, the definition. So like anyone actually with 2 luggages is with reduced mobility in the airports. Yeah.
True. Actually, I'm asking and staying with you now, Mohsen, from your team, ExoMotion, as it was your case. How does the connection between your solution for PRM and MindSphere contribute to an equal mobility and travel facilitation and the access in general?
Yeah, so the thing is that with our innovation, we try to make the device more, like to provide more freedom and also more independence for the end users. And also like using MindSphere, we can basically implement it in a practical way to make it functionable in the environment that we're going to use it, which is in this case, the airport. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great discussion, guys. I really love it. It's super. So you're not just focused on your theme, you're open for everything. Ah, cool. We can make that a series. Okay, next one.
Exactly.
Industry.
So I really enjoy the energy level going up myself very much too. So we're now coming to the industry part. So factories should be charged a tax depending on their CO2 emissions.
Agree or disagree?
Totally.
Okay, so that's new. We have full agreement here.
Okay,
so
no controversial discussions. Who wants to start? No,
I would like to hear from you guys. Why do you think that this is really important, and why is this maybe a game changer in the way we're doing our business today?
Well, factories are contributing a lot of CO2 emissions. So they're not as equal as other businesses. So office employees will contribute a lot less CO2 emissions, and they're usually much larger organizations. So right now we have carbon credits that can offset some of the factories, but we can look at it as a tax or carbon credits, which would allow them to be able to contribute to the environment as well. And it also encourages automation and innovation, where instead of trying to use old machinery that produces a lot of CO2 emissions, they would actually invest in newest machinery, newest technology, MindSphere and others that will help them become more sustainable. So this type of kind of like punishment in tax form actually encourages innovation and new technology adoption.
We only just need to have a warning that we don't need to incentivize something that can be greenwashing then, because many times the carbon neutrality is not really an innovation, but is just something to offset in even not really impactful ways. So we need to invest on disruptive innovations and continue to use the principles of recycling, reduce wastes, etc. So just to keep that in mind.
Very valid point.
So John, you have a comment as
Yeah,
well.
I was going to. I'm actually okay with some greenwashing as long as it drives the development in the right direction. But I totally agree. At the same time, something that has struck me in the last actually a few years is that historically it's always been a question of ROI, ROI, ROI. How can you calculate the return on investment in dollars and cents? But for the last few years, companies have actually been making investment decisions based on the sustainability impact of their projects, without actually knowing how to calculate the money in those projects, which I find quite interesting. And I think that that's based on the conclusion that either they will make money on it eventually, or it's a necessary that otherwise they will lose money in the long run. So that's an interesting reflection in this context.
Andrew, you're...
Actually, I think they brought up two great points where, first of all, we have to make sure that we understand and incentivize buying new technology and adopting innovation rather than just buying forests and claiming they're actually sustainable now because they own forests. But the second part is, I think companies now are actually, because of carbon credits and others, they actually are adding it as a return on investment. They can actually calculate what it costs them to be polluters. So if a company choose not to innovate, not to become sustainable, it actually costs them money. They can now calculate this ROI and invest in it more. So the more we create sustainability as the monetization strategy or ROI strategy, the more companies will invest in it.
The thing is, at the end consumer is getting the bill. It's not just that it's just a tax thingy for the one who creates the CO2 emission. That's something we need to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, and that is actually a very good point, because this is just, addressing one of the questions we have. We became here from the audience, and I would like to bring this in, and maybe you see that then you have an opinion here as well. So what should happen with the money that is taken through tax incomes by governments? So where should it be spent? At the same time, how should a global distribution of these taxes maybe look like?
I think that's great. I think that fits with what I was going to say, is that in the building industry, I see as an architect, we have a scale to rate buildings if they're sustainable. In Europe, they could be A, B, C. So I think the same could be developed, a system for rating companies and their sustainability. So while we tax them, we can also figure out what they can do to improve and how to get them out of that taxation. So I think the money can go into building the system.
I mean, when you buy whiteware, like a new refrigerator, you check on the energy level, what it consumes, because you want to save money, and you are willing to pay a bit more for the latest up-to-date new machine to bring you energy savings and protect the environment. So everybody is actually open to contribute to that. Yeah. So Giovanni, let me ask you, because it was your case, the industry case, how can your industrial IoTized AR solution contribute to a reduction in CO2 emissions with an industrial environment?
Yeah, a faster repairing means less energy waste first. The value on the IoT data that has been generated, so spent energy to generate data, Usually, if data are not comprehensible, are not used, and so this is a waste. With our interface, we want those data to be used. And most importantly, with the metaverse, we can train from remote people, and also we can avoid the physical simulation of machinery statements with the digital twin. And also we aim to train even robots that can work autonomously and so perform actions that to act immediately when some energy costing activity happen.
Great, thank you so much.
Let me add something there.
Yes, sure.
What is important is, technology should be with purpose, right? So there's been a technology, there will be a technology, but what is the purpose and what's the technology fit? That's what I would say. So here, be it an industry or the mobility or any other thing, it's all about that. And I want to just add in last, I could not get a chance to add to what you have said. Corporates have enough awareness about what they're doing, right? What is important is to make sure that they are innovating a technology to reduce the carbon footprint. It is important. And we should also make sure that whatever fines are collected, penalties are collected, it has to be put in the innovation part, wherein the fine which is collected, the purpose is to actually reduce the carbon emissions. Are we bringing the innovation to reduce the carbon emission? We need to make sure that the funds are used for that purpose.
Okay, so quite interesting to see, besides the agreement that we had initially, right, how the discussion evolved. Exactly. So I'm coming up with a more, I guess, tough one right now. So we're in the area of water, and there's a statement here saying water is not a human right, it should be privatized. So how do you feel about this? Okay, again, there is clear agreement here. So maybe, Giovanni, you want to take it off?
Yeah, water should be not privatized, but for everyone. And also there have been tokens about also the access on water, and this is something that is not really the accessibility that is always thought in every other statement that we claimed before. Water is the essential, and also we have made of water, so how can we privatize ourselves in a certain way?
Even thinking about that, in some countries you just don't have access to water sources. You have to go to the supermarket and buy it if you're lucky, or you have to walk kilometers in order to get somehow water. So it's also different. How can we evaluate this? That some have the right just go to a fountain and take it, and others have to buy it somewhere at a very expensive rate. So that's something we need to consider in that case as well. Andrew, you were moving. I can tell you want to say something.
Well, I think we should treat water same as air. We need both to live. If we privatize it, we are letting companies decide who gets to live and who doesn't.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we just had a question about what should the governments do with those taxes. They should invest in things like water, so that people could actually have access to water, clean water. We're in Dubai right now, and companies had to invest hundreds of millions of dollars just to turn salt water into drinkable water for us to be here. So it's extremely important, and we have to look at sustainability as not just emissions. It's also water, energy, clean air, and a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yes.
So TD Point is next.
Thank you, because it's about the water. So our team is prepared. Okay. It's about a yes or no question. Okay, we need to say no. But in our opinion, it should be the mixture of human right and privatized. So there are different types of water user. And for example, domestic consumption in the city. Yes, it should be privatized to ensure a good quality and services of water supply. But in the other hand, however, in Thailand and many other countries, that major water users are farmers, some level or amount of water rights should be given to ensure basic needs. That's our team.
Fair point. And also,
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say, I didn't think about it before this way, but yeah, depending on the usage, or if it's a company using it, or is for ventilation or like to like get the heat or whatever, like depending on that, yeah, I think I would agree with this opinion more than my own.
So you changed your mind, yeah?
My previous one, sorry, not the current one.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the inspiration of
Yeah.
others, you think
It
of
was quite nice,
yeah. Think the other coin of the medal, yeah.
So anyone else in the audience here or in the group changing mind, having a new perspective?
Yes, I
Okay,
changed my mind too.
Okay,
I agree that
interesting.
with the different uses, we need to be careful. But as far as everybody for drinking water, that's definitely a human right.
And that's what we all had in mind when we heard the question first. Absolutely agree. But let's go now to the team hydrogens, to Titi Porn, because you turned in the idea for water. Can you tell us how your solution with the flooding recognition is improving how people can deal with floods today? And if it can be scaled to any other city? I was mentioning Sydney. So is it that easy to just copy paste and bring the solution?
Okay, I must say it's not that a thing copy paste easy in the world. It's so tough, but we can make it with technology. So our hydrogen is the future platform to solve a flood problem in any city and for better urban livelihood with the power of seamless digital connectivity, analytics, and automation. So our solution is an ideal smart water city platform connecting hundreds of IoT sensor, water level, water gate, and etc. Sensor. So together with social sensor from urban city to visualize and detect the flooding. With MindSphere and high-end digital technology, hydrogen can be all-in-one platform to be used for the real-time monitoring, forecasting, planning, and automatic controlling the situation in any city.
In any city. That's a word. Okay, thank you so much for that. Dear audience, please don't forget, send in your questions. Sebastian, you do have a few?
I can see a lot of questions coming in,
Great,
actually,
thanks.
because the more lively the conversation gets in here, right? I can see the more lively the conversation and the questions from the audience
I
is
guess
coming
they're
in.
changing their minds too, like, oh no,
Maybe
hold
they
on,
do,
different subject
exactly.
now.
So a very special topic, and that is quite an interesting one for me as well, is around digital twins. Yeah. So
okay.
the statement here from my side is: in the near future, digital twins will replace humans and take over their jobs in almost all technical areas.
So what's your opinion?
I doubt.
The digital twins.
So we have Alexander as the only one here agreeing. So maybe you want to take it off, and then we want to hear the rest. Maybe Alexander, you can convince them being wrong.
Yeah, of course. And you know, I would like to stress on a technical professions, and for me, you know, my second degree is production management and engineering, and from university experience, we had factories that basically you just put the raw material on the one side, and then it comes like a product from the other side, and just people are sitting in front of this control panel, you know, manipulating everything. So, and also we have visited plenty of factories where smart solutions were replaced, you know, and I can bring you one example.
Yes.
For example, you have a basket with some kind of screws. Let's imagine when it's the basket is empty, you put it in a designated place, and the basket has a QR code on a bottom. So it's scanned, and then a signal will be sent to a stock that this particular basket is already empty. So you don't need the people who will just, you know, inform or call. So, and this type of things you can just push further and further. And yeah, I'm truly believer that technical, and I know that in design, technical people can be replaced.
Okay.
Art people cannot.
Okay, interesting.
the
So
creativity,
Afzal already
okay.
indicated he has a very strong opinion
Okay.
as a disbeliever.
You know, I don't believe everything will be digital twin because obviously the technology is for people. If everything will be digital, I'll be really scared. That's a different world. It's not for human beings anymore. So yes, there'll be a combination of things where it's human-centric. Technology will serve humanity. That's my belief so far, right? I will continue to believe in that. So yes, you can leverage the technology of digital twin to make your decisions, improve, optimize, and all of it. But it will be a combination of human and tech coming together.
Okay. So John, do you have a digital twin in the metaverse already?
I don't know. Well, Rickard is my digital twin. He's sitting out there. No, I think I was on the same track that technology in general is a tool. It's not a replacement in most places. It's a question of augmenting, and we see that when it comes to smart IoT and using machine learning, it's really, really good at doing some things. And that's making rational decisions and finding patterns in data and that kind of stuff, not going for a smoke break or a coffee break and not having a bad day. It's extremely good for doing that kind of rational work. But it's not that good when it comes to irrational decisions and complex correlations in all cases. And so there's still a place for human beings, at least for a while still to come, I think.
True point. So, Giovanni? Mohsen, sorry.
Moses has another comment here.
Okay, so yeah, the thing is that I think like for a lot of jobs, like they will replace the job, but there are a lot of new jobs. Like we never thought that machine learning engineers will be that much demanded. And in future, maybe the other kind of jobs will come up. The thing is that the only difference will be that people need to be more like flexible and dynamic to learn new things in future. It's not like if you learn math, I don't know, in high school, you just have a job with it and then you continue like that. It's getting more and more complex. And the most important thing is to be up to date regarding different matters, I guess. But yeah, definitely some jobs will disappear, but new jobs will come up.
It's like machine learning, isn't it? You need to train, get better. It's like human. We need to get better every day. Even the AI needs improvements.
And also,
exactly.
Yeah.
New data.
Yeah.
Get a new data, train yourself.
Regarding the irrationality also, like, is that the only way that we survived? If we were like 100% everyone rational, like we would have been, like we wouldn't have survived during history. Like from decision-making perspective, I would say.
True.
And Giovanni, you were also kind of holding your microphone for a statement?
Oh, yeah. For example, we use augmented reality as an interface that connects the personal intelligence with the digital twin. And also, we are using it as an interface for humans to train robots to be their physical twin when they are far from where the operation needs to be done.
Of course.
I'll add one more thing along the lines of what he said, that even though some repetitive tasks might be replaced by digital humans, this gives us humans an opportunity to do more fun things. Now,
Gaming, for example.
gaming, exactly. And
Gamification.
creative arts and whatever else we always wanted to do.
True, it's a fair point. But Andrew, you were for sure going to comment on that now, right?
I think there's a lot of fear about your job being replaced with AI. And our company spent a lot of years making sure that we use AI to be able to go and improve the entire end-to-end supply chain and production, from raw materials to manufacturing to final delivery. And number one fear for people is, if you actually succeed, we will lose our jobs. And that's fear coming looking forward. It's the same as us right now looking at calculators and saying that if we have a calculator, people who used to calculate things would lose their jobs. In reality, is what technologies allows us to do is to do more. Currently, the reason we have so much inefficiency in productions and large corporations and the entire value chain is because people don't have the time or resources to be able to create efficiencies. And that's what technology is allowing us to do. That's what AI allows us to do, is to bring efficiency through technology. And the only jobs it's going to replace is 80% of your job that used to do repetitive stuff that you hated to begin with.
That's true. Now, as it was your case, the factory case, the co-challenge with MHP, how can the combination of digital twins, artificial intelligence, and MindSphere change the industrial environment?
Absolutely. What they can do is it can help companies and people identify what they're missing, what could help them improve, and actually help them collaborate to be able to create real efficiency when it comes to costs, to sustainability, and time to the market. So combining AI, human augmented machine learning that we focus on, MindSphere technology, and digital twins could allow them to really bring efficiency and more opportunities into the business environment.
So once again, it's not the competition, it's the collaboration which makes the, as we say, cow flying.
Exactly. Okay, I really like the discussion going on here, and the audience obviously too. Let's move on to the next one. So this is about carbon credits. So do you think that buying carbon credits should not be a tool for trivializing high carbon footprint emissions? So how do you feel about this one? Should not. Yes, should not.
Buying carbon credits should not be a tool for trivializing high carbon footprint emissions.
Okay, so I see a lot of agreement here. Yes.
Yeah, that's clear. After the greenwashing, I think.
So John was on the fence, just
a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe just an idea, and you tell me if you like the idea or not. I would really like to hear from Isada why you agreed, right? I mean, this has been your case especially because we have quite some interesting questions here from the audience. And as we're running a little short in time, to be honest, maybe you just want to share your thoughts.
Yes.
And then we can maybe ask also some questions coming from the global audience as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Actually, a few tokenization ideas for carbon credits were mentioned in our hack from the other teams. And the reason why we didn't include it with our app was intentional, because that would shift the focus from the sustainability impact to monetization. In fact, in the Carbon Games app, you cannot buy or sell these tokens. You have to earn them through your sustainable behaviors, and then you get to spend them for fun things. So
incentivizing for the good behavior. Yes. Exactly. That's
exactly very good statement.
And we all love it to earn monies, earn miles, earn whatever. So definitely this is a go for thingy, and very a creative aspect. Absolutely.
Okay, so if there is no other statement from the team here, there is a paradox question coming from the audience. So what I would like to do is, because there's actually a number of questions that came in, maybe we keep it as short as possible, and who has the strongest opinion is most welcome to answer, okay? So the question is, to which extent is technology itself responsible for unsustainability? Computing also has an energy consumption.
I agree. But if it is serving a bigger purpose, I would say yes, that is required. It's a nice devil to have, right? That's what I would say, in short.
Yeah, and just add to it, I think technology definitely contributes, especially in energy and water consumption. But for example, shift to cloud saves up to 72% of emissions. Sure. So we've created a problem, but we're also fixing a problem.
And I think we all agreed from earlier that technology is a tool, so we cannot blame the tool. We have to see how people are using it to make it better.
Exactly.
Just to reinforce the Andrew answer, from an electronics perspective, as I'm an electronics engineer, a cloud-based solution is optimized locally, and while a distributed architecture would not be so efficient in the total sum. That's math.
Okay,
we take the next one.
Any other comments? No? So then there's a maybe more open question here. So the development of IoT and NI is going fast. So what do you think where this will take us in about 10 years from now?
Wow, 10 years is a long time stretch.
Yeah, exactly. 10 years is an eternity. But we always say that everything is getting connected, and it makes perfect sense. And that's because, as we say in our presentation, it gives you the opportunity to see how every individual thing is used. You can see how it feels. You can support it. You can help run it in a more sustainable way. I mean, there are so many, and you can upgrade it with new functionalities. So you prolong the life length of the product. There's so many reasons why pretty much everything, including, like I said, my running shoes, will be actually connected. So That will happen, time perspective, hard to say. So far, I have to say that I don't think that IoT has picked up as quickly as it deserves or that we anticipated, because to me it's a no-brainer that it saves money and it saves the environment.
Sure. Okay, Alexander, you have an opinion here as well?
I just want to add that in 10 years' time, we will find out new boundaries with, of course, with IoT. Because, for example, from my industry, when we find a solution, then we also find issues or problems in our systems that we need to solve, and that would take more than 10 years.
And if I may add, who thought COVID-19 will come and disrupt the world? No one actually thought and planned for this, right? So we have to deal with the challenges, right? But the technology, again, I'll go back to technology with purpose, and there will be disruptions. You cannot have a time frame serving the challenges, whatever challenges you come and overcome. And I think this is where the industry has to also focus to make certain things useful, usable, and also result driven, not just creating the hype, which is just there for certain things, but bringing the use cases, really tangible results, and just letting go this hype cycle, I would say.
Okay. It's innovation, it's your creativity, it's the tools being used, the different devices we have, the programming. I think there is a big basket of possibilities to be used to overcome all these challenges and to work on new things.
Exactly. So here's another question that maybe relates to what we just discussed and maybe answered in about 10 years' time, maybe not. So dynamic world with environmental issues, food and water challenges, oil price fluctuations, and humankind explosive increase are pressuring Earth resources. Do you believe that space can be the solution? So Isala, you're smiling, so maybe you want to kick it off?
Even though me myself, I'm a little skeptical or just scared of space, but I think a lot of the companies that are working today are showing us that yes, space will be the future. It's getting more and more tangible every day, and we should definitely be able to get our resources from there.
Okay.
I think space could be a solution. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the solution. So the more solutions we have, the better environment we'll have.
So before you go, I just want to quickly comment myself on this one, because what I really liked in the sustainability pavilion here, there was exactly this question asked, right? I don't know if you have been there. So they asked the question of, would we rather take care of our planet or escape to another, whatever planet in space, right?
Exactly.
And what was interesting about it is that most of the people actually said, it was about 64% or so, said we rather take care of our planet first before escaping the place, right? So just
you don't know
thank
what
you.
to expect.
Actually, this guy's reading my mind now. Okay, I was just thinking that, Sebastian. What is the guarantee and assurance that we go to outer space and actually not do the damage that we have done to this Earth already? So it's all about changing habits. Actually, there's no way you can run away from the problem. There is a problem, solve it. Learn to solve the problem, right? That's a better way of doing, not jumping from a ship, getting into other one and creating problem there. How long you'll do hopping?
Exactly, and you have no idea what's going to be in the water next time you swim for some solutions.
There you go, exactly.
So John, you were next, and I would like to ask you first. So on which side would you rather be? In a space
or Earth?
Or Earth?
Earth, every day of the week. Absolutely, and I was on the same track that sure, space can be part of the solution, but let's not give up on Earth, not yet.
Exactly. Okay.
Also, the space is a laboratory, as many innovations comes from spatial researches. So this is the part of the space that I think that we should invest on.
And I will encourage the audience to think of space as not just us leaving the planet. Asteroids have a lot of minerals we can bring back to Earth to solve some of the Earth's issues. So space opens up opportunity to go and explore and then improve our planet rather than just leave our planet.
But Sebastian, I would love to go to Mars, if possible.
Yeah, one day, me too.
Yeah, I don't want to give up on that.
Not that I want to live there.
Exactly, right? So yes.
But I think I would agree with the first comment from him, because we shouldn't put all the eggs also in the single basket. Like, they are not mutually exclusive. Like, if you want to explore other options, it's good to have. Like, imagine like even there is another, I don't know, like asteroid or like planet coming and hitting us. like you don't want to lose the opportunity and don't explore how to get away from it. Let's see what happens and come back if it was fine.
I'm with you, Mohsin, for exploration part of it, but not jumping off to have a take your habits with you and spoil the other planet also.
That's absolutely true. Even regarding the taking away the licenses, I was thinking like actually there are a lot of habits and psychology involved in it, so we should like fix those over time by incentivizing people. But yeah.
Great. I love this really great conversation, your thoughts in here, and also the questions from our audience. You guys really are in here. Super. Thank you so much for that.
So there is plenty of other questions that have maybe a little bit more a business scope and need to be answered by Afsal. So we will take care of all these questions, don't worry. But unfortunately, our session here is coming to an end. So I was really excited to see all the great stuff and input coming from you guys. So Chrissy, how do you feel about it?
I loved it. Thank you so much for this participation here. It's really inspiring to see your different thoughts. And at the end, some of them are all the same, focused on just one great solution for us to be developed. So really cool. And well, dear viewers, we're going for a 60 seconds countdown now until we will close the voting for your preferred team. And if you remember the lucky number, it's a different number than sending the questions. It is your voting number, which is the 64511387. That's the lucky number to vote once more, an additional time with another device for your preferred team and the representative for the best solution, the winner of the hearts, as we say it. So 60 seconds until we will be back and kind of try to update the solution, and we'll show you a video.
Brilliant.
Now we will have 8 minutes now.
whoever is interested in the story, just approach me later on, okay? So.
All right, I think we're back. Welcome again, dear audience. We had a bit of a change of a setup in here. Great you're still with us. We do have our representatives from the team here in the audience now, and they're all curious who will be the winner. So it's not about that this is the best team, because you guys all have been voted for a best solution in your category. What we have asked you to vote for now is the winner of the hearts, like the idea you like the most, and we're all curious now to see who that will be. And for this, we'd like to call Afzal once more on stage, and...
We have another special guest. We have Helmut with us also today, who is the CEO of the Middle East region for industry, infrastructure and mobility. Hi, Helmut.
Hi.
Good to have you here. So Afzal, maybe to kick it off with you, I mean, it's been a quite interesting day, week, months, years, right? So it's coming to an end now. We have seen a lot of great presentations again today. How do you feel?
It's an amazing journey. Exhausted, but love the fun around it and meeting different startups from different parts of the world who contributed, having Dave here, Somnath, and other colleagues joining us. So it's an amazing feeling for me, yeah?
Cool.
It's fun.
Helmut, you have been part of this whole thing yourself. Yeah, we've met many times here at the Expo event itself. So, I mean, all this great experience, including all these great solutions. So how do you see this evolving over time and into the future?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's fantastic to be here. And the theme of Expo, Connecting Minds, where can we see it better than especially here also in the room? So for sure, we will take this up and have a close look into the solutions that we can also then implement later with our customers, with our partners, with the stakeholders here, because with all the topics that you are addressing, that you're looking for solutions, those are the critical topics. And this is something that we are all aiming for to get resolved.
Good.
All right, so I guess it's about time to unveil...
Can we keep talking? I'm sorry, I don't want to delay.
Oh my goodness, again!
Just kidding, no.
No. I think it's about time not to push it any further, because I can see there is like really thrilling moments in here. Everybody's still smiling, I have to say, which is cool. Everybody's curious. So who will bring us the envelope with the results?
We're going to call Eileen. Yeah,
Eileen.
Help us.
All right, so the
Brilliant.
Community Choice Award.
Any guess?
Any volunteers?
Okay, I'll not delay it any further. But this is really, I would say, an award. Okay, looking at the vote counts, in short time, what we got, it is roughly 2,400 votes, what we got,
wow.
Right? And of which majority went to one startup. That's actually a unanimous decision. This is awesome. So, shall I? Okay.
How many votes?
It's almost like 930 votes for the startup. Yeah, that's unanimous kind of a thing, right? So it's hydrogen for what a hack. You are the
Congratulations.
Helmut.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I have the honor of awarding you, and congratulations again. Super. Well done.
And as said, really an actual case when we look at what's happening in the world. Really cool.
For the cities, exactly.
So there's the photographer. I think one big smile.
I'll give you. Yep. There you go.
Exactly.
Yes, and it deserves an applause.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations. Well done again.
And as said, you all are winners. It's about taking part, like at the Olympics. That's being part of it, working on the MindSphere with the teams here. So really cool. And maybe Afzal and Helmut, you want to mention a few words as well.
Afzal?
Yes, I have a small slideshow. Shall I start? I'm just kidding. I just want to make sure that we get you some exciting statistics. It was an amazing journey. How do I say this? Expo wanted to connect with the world, connect with the startups, connect the governments, connect the enterprises, and connect the enterprise with the government. And there was a task to talk about sustainability. There was a task to talk about mobility. There was a task to create an opportunity. We, as a partner for Expo, we thought, why can't we do something different to create that impact? Do what Expo wanted and also play a role and reach out to the like-minded partners to collaborate and reach out to the startups to solve these problems of smart city. So with that, I would say, let us see what are the impressions we got. Maybe I will just move out of the slide deck so that you can also see that. Okay. Yes. Maybe I'll go other side. Okay. So let us look at the statistics. If you look at 7 hackathons, 5 topics, almost like 330 innovative ideas we're talking about, 21 nationalities, and 32 finalists. It's amazing. Expo said, connecting the world, right? Creating the opportunities. This is what exactly we did. And I'm really, really, glad that it worked out well. How was the idea, Sebastian? This was more about just, maybe I can just give some credit to Sebastian and the team, I would say. We want to do something unique. I want to go back to what Dave has mentioned. Siemens is a large conglomerate, and MindSphere is like a startup thing. And there we want to say, okay, we as a startup within Siemens, how do we connect with the rest of the startups to solve the world problems? So it really worked out well. Thank you, Sebastian and team, for actually creating this brilliant idea on a canvas and actually planning it and delivering at this scale. Amazing. Big round of applause for you. Right? So we're talking about 7 winners. Glad that all the winners could come back. Dubai is not a bad climate yet, so it was a good weather. I hope you had a great run during the hacks, and glad that you could make it back in current challenges, right, with COVID and all those. So great to have all the 7 winners here. We had a great panel session, and it really actually opened a lot of, I would say, out of possibilities, I would say, yeah, for Siemens and the startups. So what was our vision? If you look at, our vision was to create an ecosystem where we can talk about these topics, look at the challenges, what we face, and not only talk about that, find solutions, right? And we have managed to do that in a great way, in a bold way, because we were able to talk about these topics in detail, not trying to push it off, but good to know that startups think differently than enterprises. Thank you for challenging us there. And it was a great outcome, right? That was a vision to actually create that. And looking at that, what's the future if you look at? Great solutions. I know from here, it's more about launching into the future. Great tech, purpose is there already, right? So we can see how this purpose can be met with the great technology. And why not an enterprise like Siemens and a partner ecosystem like yours and customer like Expo and like-minded partner like MasterCard and here, for example. It is actually, we are here to create the future. And I see a lot of possibilities, happening now. I want to borrow from Sebastian when he said, if we act, we impact. I think we have created the impact, what we're looking at. And we want to see how this journey can actually further, mature into a proper solutions to solve the problems of the world, what we have today. It will be totally unfair if I don't give the due credit to the team who has put this, I call it as a mission impossible. So can I call them crazy team? They are really, I would say. Normally, when I look at my team, when we have project we are doing and the Expo team, extended team here, we were thinking we have a challenge, we need to solve the project and we need to deliver this, which we delivered it. To complement us, this is an amazing team. I would call it as a dream team. When we said we have a challenge, we need to do hacks, we need to scout out with the limited time, we have a customer whose vision is clear, and we need to reach out to startups globally and create this impact. I would say, I can just spend time naming all here, but there are few, if they're missing, sorry, my bad. I want to say, anyone who has contributed to this MindSphere Future World Series, thank you very much for this great thing. And I want to say, whenever we ask about Expo as a Siemens, as a partner, and internally this team, I would say, can you jump? This team was all about how high, right? This is the expectation they have actually set. I'm glad that we could deliver this in record time with all the challenges, travel restrictions. I would say, to manage this was a huge logistical effort. I'll put that way. Brilliant effort. And again, I want to congratulate Sebastian, Rosie, Teresa, and I can see a lot more here in the room. Yeah, Eileen. Yeah, I can see Rosanna, and who could not make for this trip, I would say, who are back home watching us, right? Thank you all for this brilliant effort. With this, I want to conclude my long speech, right? I know I'm the one who's waiting between you and your cocktail party. I don't want to delay it any further. With that, I conclude and pass on this to Christine and Sebastian.
Thank you, Arfan. Well said, well said. Well, dear visitors and viewers, for the case that you have not been here on yourself, you still have 3 more weeks to go. Come, use the chance, come here, meet the world, see our wonderful solutions, get new visions, inspiration from all cultures. It's really worth the trip coming here and seeing what Expo 2020 in Dubai really means.
Nothing else to add. So, it's been a crazy time, to be quite honest. And Afsal, thank you very much for your heartwarming speech. Without you, this wouldn't have happened. So I need to kind of care about my voice now because it's getting a little bit emotional.
This is the Oscar moment now.
Exactly. So no, it's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of people who I call friends today, right? So it's been crazy times and fun times. I'm very much looking forward to continue our work here because this is hopefully not the end. And Christine, also special thanks to you for just jumping in and helping us out here on site and doing the moderation here together with me. So once again, so it's about time to get some drinks, I guess. And yeah.
You guys at home can do so too, and watch out for further activities at the Siemens channels. Give us your thumbs, your hearts, your likes. We depend on that, and stay with us. And thanks again to all the teams here contributing your solutions coming here. Great job, you guys. Keep the innovation and the spirit.
And before we go, I would just like to have Vanessa, Teresa, and Rosanna here on the stage. Eileen, you please join us here as well. Because
Hast die Maske noch auf?
So just give me one more second, because there is a saying, right? Wherever there's a strong man, there's a lot of more strong women behind the man, right? And with this, I would say thank you very much for being with us today.
Great job. And with this, we say goodbye.
Goodbye.